So today I will talk about the software design and documentation review. So let's begin with the organization and completeness part. So for the first question is talk about some. Do we give enough tasks for describe the each material? So the answer is in our software design documentation job, we have provided enough tests for each materials, which is to make sure all the readers, including the teammates and the client, can understand the content of each material. So for the second question, is our design decision documented in our document? So the answer for this question is yes. All the design decisions are documented, implemented, and motivated. So for the third question of this part, here is also the last question of this part. It has an evolution of software architecture being documented. So the evolution of the software architecture has not been documented in our SDD document. So let's turn to the next part. Let's talk about the software design. The first question is the relationship to the requirements clearly motivated? Is it clear how the prospect architecture realizes the requirements? So after checking the document, I found that the answer is yes. Our design for software is based on the client requirements. In other words, the readers can guess or understand the customer's requests very clearly from the design document, which means the relationship is obviously. So for the second question, are resources necessary to perform software design activities on the project? For example, the estimated self-development tools identified. The answer is most resources of design activities have been mentioned in our document, but the estimate stuff for each activities has not been identified, which is because for now we just design all the models, but we didn't give the task for or assign a task for each team member, so we didn't mention it in our document. So for the next questions is software structure identified using a documented design methodology? The answer is yes. The structure of the software is broken down in models, and the functions and requirements of the models are documented. So the fourth question is, are system design entities, inputs and outputs derived from the software structure? The answer is yes. All the system design entities, inputs and outputs, which is all from the software structure. For the question 5, is a logical data model which describes the system data flow construct? The answer is yes. In our document, the control system component and the figure 1 system architecture showing the data flow over the whole system. So for the next question is a system architecture including hardware, software, database, and data communication structure specific? The answer is besides the detailed database, all the other have been included in the system architecture. The reason is because we haven't created a detailed database now. We just mention some value of each data. So let's talk about the next question. This question is talk about is a physical data model based on the logical data model developed. The answer is in the document. Only details of each data are mentioned, such as the type of the data, the value of the data, where it should be, where it should to do something, or the data is used for what. But there is no pictures to describe the data model. So for this question, the eighth question is about, is the architecture completed? Are all the requirements covered? So for now, the document is just a draft. So most components design has been completed, and some very little components we might develop it in the future process. And by talking about the requirements, I think in the document all the requirements are covered. So let's talk about these questions. The question 9. Question is, are all relevant architecture views provided? I think it may be one of the disadvantage of our document, because we haven't provided all the views for each component for each model. So the answer is no, all the relevant architectural views are provided. Some views need to be added before final version. It means it need to be added in the future. So for this question, it's about, have alternative architectures been considered? I think no. So the answer is, in our document we haven't mentioned other alternative architectures. Okay, let's turn to next question. So these questions, have no functional requirements also been considered? Yes, the answer is yes. In our document, some no functional requirements like the height of the test objects, the sensor, have also been considered in this document. So the answer is yes. So for this question, it's about the feasibility and changes and scenarios, some changes scenario. So for these questions, the answer is, in our document, there is some feasibilities in the software architecture, which is mainly reflected in the fact that the implementation requirements of each model are not specified very straightly. In general, it's just given a direction and detailed description. So which is mean like it can be convenient to deal with the changes which may happen in the future in the development process. However, the most relevant changes scenario have not been mentioned, have not been documented in our document. So let's talk about the next question. The question is about the functional design entities used as the basis for creating system models, procedures, and objects. Yes, obviously, of course, the answer is of course. In this document, all the creating system models, procedures, and objects are based on the functional design entities. So let's go on to next questions. The question is about, are changes to the system design baseline managed and controlled? I think the answer for this question is the system design baseline are managed and controlled in our document. Let's talk about the last question. The question is about, are system design activities reviewed with the project manager, leader, both periodically and as needed? The answer is, so far before finishing this document, the system design activities are reviewed within the group, which including each team member and leader. But we didn't mention the time for future review activities. in our document, which means all the activities we just list, we haven't mentioned what time we should review it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I think it's the last question. So thank you for listening.